So, why are our astronomers not aware of the existence of this planet? The fact is that even an orbit half as long as the lower figure for Cahutek would take the 12th planet about 6 times farther away from us and Pluto, a distance at which such a planet would not be visible from Earth, since it would barely if at all reflect the sun's light toward Earth. In fact, the known planets beyond Saturn were first discovered not visually, but mathematically. The orbits of known planets, astronomers found, were apparently being affected by other celestial bodies. This may also be the way in which astronomers will discover the 12th planet. There has already been speculation that a planet X exists, which, though unseen, may be sensed through its effects on the orbits of certain comets. In 1972, Joseph L. Brady, of the Lawrence Livermore Laboratory of the University of California discovered that discrepancies in the orbit of Halley's Comet could be caused by a planet the size of Jupiter orbiting the Sun every 1,800 years. At its estimated distance of 6,000,000 miles, its presence could be detected only mathematically. While such an orbital period cannot be ruled out, the Mesopotamian and biblical sources present strong evidence that the orbital period of the 12th planet is 3,600 years. The number 3,600 was written in Sumerian as a large circle. The epithet for the planet, Shar supreme ruler, also meant a perfect circle, a completed cycle. It also meant the number 3,600, and the identity of the three terms, planet/orbit/3600, could not be a mere coincidence. Berosus, the Babylonian priest astronomer scholar, spoke of 10 rulers who reigned upon Earth before the deluge. Summarizing the writings of Berosus, Alexander Polyhistor wrote in the second book was the history of the 10 kings of the Chaldeans, and the periods of each reign, which consisted collectively of 120 shars, or 432,000 years, reach into the time of the deluge. Avicenna, a disciple of Aristotle, also quoted Berosus in terms of 10 pre-diluvial rulers, whose total reign numbered 120 shars. He made clear that these rulers and their cities were located in ancient Mesopotamia. It is said that the first king of the land was Olorus. He reigned 10 scats. Now, Shar is estimated to be 3,600 years. After him Malaprus reigned 3 shars. To him succeeded Anilarus, from the city of Pantibibulum, who reigned 13 shars. After him Ammon reigned 12 shars. He was of the city of Pantibibulum. Then Megalaurus of the same place, 18 shars. Then Daus, the shepherd, governed for the space of 10 shars. There were afterwards other rulers, and the last of all Sisithras, so that in the whole, the number amounted to 10 kings, and the term of their reigns 220 shars. Apollodorus of Athens also reported on the prehistorical disclosures of Berosus. In similar terms, 10 rulers reigned a total of 120 shars, 432,000 years, and the reign of each one of them was also measured in the 3,600-year Shar units. With the advent of Sumerology, the olden texts to which Berosus referred were found and deciphered. These were Sumerian king lists, which apparently laid down tradition of 10 pre-diluvial rulers, who ruled Earth from the time when kingship was lowered from heaven until the deluge swept over the Earth. One Sumerian king list, known as text WB/144, records the divine reigns in 5 settled places or cities. In the first city, Ariel, there were 2 rulers. The text prefixes both names with the title syllable A, meaning progenitor. When kingship was lowered from heaven, kingship was first in Ariel. In Ariel, Alulim became king. He ruled 28,800 years. Elongar ruled 36,000 years. 2 kings ruled at 64,800 years. Kingship then transferred to other seats of government, where the rulers were called M, or Lord, and in one instance, by the divine title Dinger. Ariel, its kingship was carried to Bad Tiburon. In Bad Tiburon, N.Men.Lu.N.N.A ruled 43,200 years, and Men.Gal.N.N.A ruled 28,800 years. Divine Du.Mu.Zi, shepherd, ruled 36,000 years. 3 kings ruled it for 108,000 years. The list then names the cities that followed, Larak and Sippar, and their divine rulers. And last, the city of Shuruppak, where a human of divine parentage was king. The striking fact about the fantastic lengths of these rules is that, without exception, they are multiples of 3,600. Another Sumerian text WB/62 added Lhasa and its two divine rulers to the king list, and the reign periods it gives are also perfect multiples of the 3,600-year Shar. With the aid of other texts, the conclusion is that there were indeed 10 rulers in Sumer before the deluge. Each rule lasted so many shars, and altogether their reign lasted 120 shars, as reported by Berosus. The conclusion that suggests itself is that these shars of rulership were related to the orbital period Shar 3,600 years of the planet Shar, the planet of kingship, that Elohim reigned during 8 orbits of the 12th planet, Algar during 10 orbits, and so on. If these pre-diluvial rulers were, as we suggest, Nephilim, who came to Earth from the 12th planet, then it should not be surprising that their periods of reign on Earth should be related to the orbital period of the 12th planet. The periods of such tenure or kingship would last from the time of the landing to the time of the takeoff. As one commander arrived from the 12th planet, the other's time came up. Since the landings and takeoffs must have been related to the 12th planet's approach to Earth, the command tenures could only have been measured in these orbital periods of shars. One may ask, of course, whether any one of the Nephilim, having landed on Earth, could remain in command here for the purported 28,800 or 36,000 years. No wonder scholars speak of the length of these reigns as legendary. But what is a year? Our year is simply the time it takes Earth to complete one orbit around the Sun day, because life developed on Earth when it was already orbiting the Sun. Life on Earth is patterned by this length of orbit. Even a more minor orbit time, like that of the Moon or the day-night cycle, is powerful enough to affect almost all life on Earth. We live so many years because our biological clocks are geared to so many Earth orbits around the Sun day. There can be little doubt that life on another planet would be timed to the cycles of that planet. If the trajectory of the 12th planet around the Sun were so extended that one orbit was completed in the same time it takes Earth to complete 100 orbits, then 1 year of the Nephilim would equal 100 of our years. If their orbit took 1,000 times longer than ours, then 1,000 Earth years would equal only 1 Nephilim year. And what if, as we believe, their orbit around the Sun lasted 3,600 Earth years? Then 3,600 of our years would amount to only 1 year in their calendar, and also only 1 year in their lifetime. The tenures of kingship reported by the Sumerians and Berosus would thus be neither legendary nor fantastic. They would have lasted 5 or 8 or 10 Nephilim years. We have noted in earlier chapters that mankind's march to civilization, through the intervention of the Nephilim, passed through 3 stages, which were separated by periods of 3,600 years: the Mesolithic period circa 11,000 BC, the Pottery phase circa 7,400 BC, and the Sud-Sumerian civilization circa 3,800 BC. It is not unlikely, then, that the Nephilim periodically reviewed and resolved to continue mankind's progress, since they could meet us simply each time the 12th planet neared Earth. Many scholars, for example, Heinrich Zimmermann in the Babylonian and Hebrew Genesis, have pointed out that the Old Testament also carried traditions of pre-diluvial chieftains, or forefathers, and that the line from Adam to Noah, the hero of the deluge, listened 10 such rulers. Putting the situation prior to the deluge in perspective, the book of Genesis chapter 6 described the divine disenchantment with mankind. And it repented the Lord that he had made man on earth, and the Lord said, I will destroy man, whom I had created. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not shield man forever, having erred, he is but flesh. And his days were 120 years. Generations of scholars have read the verse, and his days shall be 120 years, as God's granting a lifespan of 120 years to man. But this just does not make sense. If the text dealt with God's intent to destroy mankind, why would he in the same breath offer man long life? And we find that no sooner had the deluge subsided and Noah lived far longer than the supposed limit of 120 years, as did his descendants Shem 600, Arpachshad 438, Shelah 433, and so on.